What's up, everybody? This is Coach MJ, and I want to welcome you to our Freedom Friday broadcast. Whether you're joining us on Facebook or on YouTube, and even if you are joining us on Clubhouse, I want to welcome you to today's training. If you are joining us on Clubhouse and you would like to see these broadcasts live, I welcome you to come over to our YouTube channel, which is I forgot the name of Black Women Who Coach and Travel. I think it is on YouTube, and that's the name of my business page as well. And we also have a group called Black Women Who Coach and Travel. It's the same name as the Clubhouse. So you can come over there and join our group and get in on not only these trainings, but on other content as well. Today is Freedom Friday. And what is the one thing that can help you get free more than anything else is money. No, money doesn't buy you love and money doesn't buy you happiness, but it sure does give you options. It sure does allow you to live life to the fullest when you are not spending the majority of your working time doing something you hate doing just to pay the bills. And so today we're going to be talking about how you can confidently charge between $3,000 and $10,000 per client for what you already know. I was talking to a dear friend of mine the other day about a coaching friend of mine about raising her prices, and we had a very good conversation. But the bottom line is that it's easy to want to be a millionaire. It's easy to say, I want to be able to retire in 5 years for my job. It's easy to say all these things, but it's more difficult to put into action the types of plans that it's going to take to be able to create the income to be able to do those things, right? And a lot of times coaches are undervaluing, underselling, or short selling themselves, charging by the hour, charging by the package of sessions, and charging as little as possible to make people feel comfortable with paying those prices, not realizing that it actually works against them. So today we're going to talk about 4 keys of charging high ticket with confidence. And I'm actually going to throw in some extra ones. You know me, every time I have a list, I always end up adding some extras, but let's get into this. The first thing is that you need to be 1,000,000% bought into the value of what you know. And here's where some of the biggest challenge comes in. First of all, everything about success is about the mind game going on between your ears, right? 5% is tactics and strategies and the how-to. Everything else is about what you think about it. And if you are coming out of a job or you're still in a hourly or even a salary job-based scenario, you are used to your time being the biggest determination of how much you are worth, how much time you spend doing the thing. And you have been programmed that your worth is $50,000 a year, $70,000 a year. Even if you make $100,000 a year, the bottom line is your employer is the one that gets to determine that upper limit. And they say, this is what you do for us and what you know is worth. And so you have to go through and, I have my clients sometimes make a list of all of the reasons why what you know or your program, if you're already in coaching or what have you, is thebomb.com. What is it about somebody working with you that makes it great? And even if you have never coached anyone before, you can still look at the value of what you know from the perspective of all the things that what you know brings to the table when somebody who doesn't know those things is going to be in the future able to work with you. And this applies whether you're doing something, whether it's going to be something that you do for a living right now that you're paid for, or it can be something you can coach on things that you've never been paid for, things you do as a hobby, things you do on the side. You can turn those into monetized coaching programs, but you have to be bought into what is my expertise worth. One of my favorite stories, one of my fellow coaches is a handstand coach, and he's gotten a lot of kind of fame or popularity over that because it seems so crazy that you could sell something like teaching people how to do handstands at a high ticket or a high premium price amount, but he does it every day and became a millionaire in just a few months because, obviously it's very difficult to do what he does, what he teaches people to do. But the bottom line is it seems like something where why would somebody pay big money to learn that? But the bottom line is he was an expert. He knew how to do it, and he was able to transfer that over to people who didn't know how to do it, but who wanted to know. Anything that you know that somebody else does not know makes you an expert. So you have to be bought into the fact that there are people that go to school and pay tens of thousands of dollars in, university to learn, or even in a trade school. Maybe they don't pay that much, but they go to trade schools to learn the things you know. Or it might take them decades to pick up what you have learned in the decades of your life. Or maybe it didn't take you that long to learn it, but that doesn't matter. The bottom line is you have this expertise, and other people are out there looking for your expertise right now. They're on Google, they're on YouTube, they're here on Facebook, they're on Clubhouse. They're everywhere looking for those answers. And the way you're going to present the information, and it's going to actually tie into our next key, the way you're going to present the information is what is going to make the difference between whether they work with you or whether they keep collecting information off of the internet. And that's our second key, is that you need keys to confidently charging premium prices, $3,000 to $10,000 or more per client for what you know, is that you have to get away from selling information and move towards selling transformation. And I know we hear the word transformation a lot in the coaching world. And so you might be like, oh boy, here's another one of those catchphrases. But the bottom line is true, that if it were just about having information, everybody would know everything that they need to know. The internet is killing any other information source that has ever existed in history. No matter what Encyclopedia Britannica and World Book were doing when we were kids, nothing beats what is on this internet. Everything you want to know, the full source of human knowledge is represented somewhere on the World Wide Web, yet people are still searching for answers. That's because it's not just about tell me what to do, tell me what the information is. People don't know how to take that information and chunk it down, break it down into a step-by-step. You might read a book, you might read an article. That doesn't necessarily mean you know how to execute. And even if you can figure out, okay, I know what to do, when you have questions, when you get scared, when you have mindset hurdles that you need to overcome, when you have just roadblocks in whatever the industry is or whatever it is that you're working on, you have nobody to turn to when you're reading a book. You can turn to that next page. But ultimately, when you have a question, there's not going to be anybody there. That's where transformation comes in. You can help people to get transformation by framing your coaching program from a perspective of getting people results, not just giving them information. I don't sell information. What I know how to do, I actually walk people through step by step over the course of several weeks, over the course of 3 months, 12 weeks, beginning to get them to know what to do step by step. It can be a lot to say, here's everything you need to know. It's overwhelming. And that's why so many people don't even pursue their dreams, because the first information dump is so massive, it just makes you feel like you can't do it. But when you have somebody stepping through side by side, that's where the transformation comes, because you can ask questions, because when you hit roadblocks, you have somebody that's there to hold your hand and walk you through it. Versus information, which is where a lot of people are going wrong, is that they think all they need is another piece of information. That might be what got you looking at even at this video, is that you're looking for more information. But what I'm telling you is, in order to actually transform your business and actually create something that's going to allow you to quit your job and be free to travel the world, you're going to need to have a transformational experience working with an expert to turn that information into an outcome for you. So get away from information and move towards transformation. The next key to confidently charging $3,000 to $10,000 or more for what you know, in addition to getting away from information and moving towards transformation and also buying into your own value, is that you have to take your fear out of it. Most of the time when we think, oh, I could never spend this much money, or I could never charge this much money, it's because a person has a limited perspective on, first of all, what money is, what it's about, how valuable it is, and what it's really meant to do. Money is something that can be replaced if it's lost. Money is just a measure of the value that something is in the world. It's just an exchange of value. Back before money was made out of precious metals, people used other things to indicate the exchange of goods and services, property, and things of that nature. They use sticks, they use handshakes, they use whatever. Then they developed the money system at some point in history. I'm not an expert on that, and then now we say this piece of paper or this piece of metal means something valuable, right? People decided that that's what it was. But the bottom line is, money because something can always be replaced, unlike time, money can always be replaced. You don't want it to be something that you fear. And so many of you out there are afraid to start your business. You're afraid to invest in expert coaching. You're afraid to put yourself out there. Well, let me go back. One of the reasons you're afraid to put yourself out there and charge high ticket for what you know is because you're not willing to pay somebody else for what they know to help you to do the things you're wanting to do, right? It is impossible to get someone to value something that you don't even value, right? And so one of the keys to charging with confidence is to know by acting on it that you will also invest in the things that you want. I can't tell you how many tens of thousands of dollars I have spent on my education, well, not my education, that too, my formal education, but on my coaching development in the last 4.5 years. It was crucial to having a successful business. I did not, well, through the years, I tried to figure it out on my own, couldn't do it, invested big money in my coaches over this time. And it has shortened my learning curve. And it has made it to where I know the value of investing in myself. I'm not afraid to invest in myself. And so I can confidently tell someone else, you need to invest in yourself, because it's not even just about the knowledge that you gain, the experience that you gain. It does something inside your mind when you say, yes, that's a lot of money, but I decide that I am worth more than that. I decide that my development, my forward momentum is worth more than this money. And the thing is, especially if you are trying to build a business, but really in anything, even if what you want to help people with is not directly related to them making money, it's still indirectly related to money. Even if you have a health offer, even if you're helping people with fitness, for example, you may think, well, if I'm helping people to lose weight and get in shape, that doesn't help them make money. Well, actually it does. And you can show them the value of that and help them to understand that it's costing them. And actually, I'm kind of bleeding into my next key, but that's okay. It's costing them every day that they sit without the outcome, without the better health and the fitness. People make less money when they're overweight. Studies have shown that people show up differently. They don't have the confidence. When they don't have confidence in how they look and how they feel, they can't demand top scale. They can't show up and do the best work. They can't show up for their families. Sometimes their relationships suffer. Maybe intimacy is affected if they're not in the best of health. They miss out on moments. If a person's heavy, they can't go to the amusement park and ride certain rides with their kids, things like that. They miss out on those moments. When you stack that up over a lifetime, there is a huge cost to staying stuck versus you giving them, or them paying you $8,000 to help them out of their pain over the course of 3 months and put them on a trajectory of a lifestyle change that will last the rest of their life. $7,000, $8,000 is nothing to have your life back, right? And so you have to take your fear of how much something is worth. You have to take your fear out of it. And one of the best ways to do that is to invest in yourself. It really is, but a lot of times we don't want to do that because sometimes the most expensive thing that you've ever bought maybe was your house and your car. And so you're looking at it like, that's a lot. Anything that's not a house or a car, because of course society has told you that those things are valuable. If it's not that, if it's not a tangible thing I can see, I don't think it's worth that. But what is happening in your life when, first of all, your future clients don't have you, and when you don't have the outcome that you want? What are you missing out? And like I said, this is bleeding into my fourth key, which is consider the alternative. What is the alternative if you don't charge them that? Well, first of all, when you charge low ticket, which means you just charge $100 an hour or $1,200 for 12 sessions, or you're stretching it over 6 months and you're getting $1,500 or something crazy like that, when you've worked a lifetime for your expertise, first of all, the people don't show up at their top potential. They don't show up and do the work. Why? They don't have that much skin in the game. They don't have any skin in the game. You owe it to them to have them level up and say, because here's what's true. Our society is built around valuing money. That's what people value. And so it's only obviously most people value human life as well, but I'm talking about in this space, money is what tells us that something more valuable. If I told you I was going to sell you a brand new Mercedes Benz for $5,000, you would believe it was either stolen or something was wrong with it, or I was just flat out lying, right? We know Mercedes Benzes are worth $60,000. Even if you don't like Mercedes, that's what they're worth. 80,000, 100,000 or more, right? So we know when something costs more, generally it's worth more. Are there exceptions? Yes, we're not going to go down to the extremes and the outliers. We're going to focus on the majority of the time. So when you show up and you say to a client, we're going to work together over the next 8 weeks. These are the outcomes you're going to get. This is how your life is going to be different. These are the pain points that you're going to escape because we're going to work together and it's 8K. They're going to be crazy to say, oh, my life is not worth that. The outcome is not worth that. I'm not worth it. And that's really what people are saying when they won't invest in themselves is I'm not worth that. I don't trust myself to get the outcome. But that's where a magnificent coach comes in, or whatever you want to call yourself, guru, expert. You might have some other fancy name for it. Doesn't matter. I just use the generic term coach. When you show up and say, you know what? You don't have to depend only on yourself. I know you're afraid that you won't show up because it's never about you. That's going to be my bonus key. Don't take it personally. It's not really you that they're rejecting. You're scared they'll say no. It's not you that they're rejecting. It's themselves that they're rejecting. Oh, they might make it about you. How could you charge so much? Or it's not worth it. Or I would, but I'm going to wait 6 months. Who's waiting 6 months to get their life and get themselves out of pain and get their life together? Nobody who really understands the value. They might make it about you, but inside, I'm telling you, human behavior has dictated that it's really themselves that they're saying no to. I don't believe that I will show up. So you go to them and you're saying to them, I'm going to be there every step of the way with you. So when you hit those roadblocks, when those old mind habits and tendencies come in to derail your success, because the reason that they want to give up on themselves because they know what has happened before. Every time they try something, they fail. They didn't have you, though. Every time they tried to get their finances together last time, they got sabotaged and they went on a spending spree. Now they're going to have you helping them with their finances if that's what you're good at. Or whatever it is that you're good at. Maybe you're good at, something that's in the artistic space. It doesn't even matter. Whatever your expertise is, you can be charging big money for it. And because you're going to walk beside your clients step by step, they're going to get the outcome unless they just flat out don't show up. Who's not going to show up when they have invested in something that is clearly of value? Back to the Mercedes example, you telling me you're going to transform my entire life, my health, or my relationship. You're going to pull my marriage back from the brink, or you're going to help me parent this difficult child, or you're going to help me to do something with my finance, or whatever it is that you help people to do. And you're going to do that for $1,000. You're going to work with me for 4 to 6 months. It can't be of any value because you can't be doing that much for me and with me because you don't charge that much. Now, granted, with the model I use, you're still not spending. Oh, I got another bonus one for you. So this ends up being 6 keys. It's not about your time. It's about the outcome. So you need to get away from the hours for dollars mentality. But even when you're not going to be spending a ton of time with them because your program is leveraged and it gets results without a lot of time from you, it still has a lot of value. But you're telling me you're going to provide all this value. You're going to save me from an $80,000 divorce. You're going to save them an early death from lifestyle diseases like high blood pressure and diabetes. You're going to do all that for $1,000. And you're going to work with me for 6 months. What? They're not going to believe it's really worth that, even if they take advantage of that price, because they're like, it can't be all of that if it's this cheap, right? Think about what we say in relationships when somebody's easy. When they say, well, girl's easier. That's the old way they say. If she, you know the words we use. She can't be of any value. What do we do when we try to get girls to not do that, to not put themselves out there like that? You're worth more. You're worth more. You're worth waiting for. The same is true of your expertise. It's worth more. Don't be just putting it out there cheap. And if people won't rise up and step up to pay that 3 to 10K, they're not your client. They are not your tribe, and you need to let them go and wish them well. As Dr. Myron Golden says, release them into God's next. I love that. Release them to go to the next thing for them because that's not for you. The cream always rises to the top, and you want clients that are going to show up. You want people who are willing to invest in themselves because that says the type of person they are. Somebody looking for cheapies and freebies, they're never going to get the outcome because they're just looking for the next best thing. So you can, for whatever, matter of fact, put it in the comments. I see some comments over here. Put in the comments what it is that you're good at. And I guarantee, hey, hey guys, I guarantee that you can be charging big money for what it is that you do. And guess what? I can prove it. I have an event coming up here in just a few days called the Quick Start Your Coaching Biz Challenge. We got 4 days, a little over an hour a day, and we're going to walk through everything that you need to be doing to start your coaching business. And we ain't talking about starting it in 6 months. We're not talking about starting it in the future. We're going to be starting your coaching business while we are in the challenge together. It's going to be the next one starts March the 21st. You need to be in this challenge. You need to be in this challenge. If you are sick of working a job where they're just telling you how much money you're worth and you're making money by the hour. And here's the thing, even if your goal isn't on the surface to get rich, just for the sake of getting rich, guess what? Wealth is not about living like the housewives of Atlanta all the time. It's just about having options. Putting your kids in the school you want to have them in, taking care of your parents so you don't have to put them in a nursing home. You have them right there in your home and have 24-hour care, top-notch care. That's what being wealthy is about. It's not just about, oh, I want to have cars and houses. No, it's about having opportunities to live your life to the fullest. Why are you not, this is bonus right here. Why are you not doing the things that you love to do? I guarantee it's because you don't have enough time. I guarantee it's because you're at work all the time. They take 40, 50 hours a week of your time, so you can't do the things you enjoy, the charities that you want to help, the time you want to spend with your family. It's time to get real about why you're not doing the things you want to do. Take care of the money problem so that you're not spending all your time paying bills, and then really start living your life. So anyway, I put the address on the screen where you need to go to sign up for the challenge now, bit.ly/QYCBC. Obviously, for my folk in Clubhouse, you can't see it, but that's why it's short. bit.ly/QYCBC. That stands for Quick Start Your Coaching Biz Challenge. We're going to be in there 4 days. You're going to have homework. You're going to have discovery prompts. It's going to be intense, but you will actually take the first few steps to start your business. Now, will you be making $10,000 a client on the 5th day? No, but you will have taken all those beginning steps. First of all, is this for you? Do you really want to be in this space where you are a well-paid expert? It might not be for you, but you won't know it until you actually move toward it. You can't just sit back and say, let me watch and see what happens. I'm just going to keep watching a bunch of videos and reading a bunch of stuff and see. The only way you can know is the life for you, and I guarantee it is, but the only way to know if it's the life for you is to take the first steps. Invest in yourself. Actually, the tuition is really cheap, but I want to get as many people in as possible so that you can know those first critical steps to get over the fear, to know who your ideal audience is, who your what your offer is going to be, what your price is going to be, where you need to go and what you need to say and do to get people into your coaching universe. Those are going to be the steps we're going to take in the challenge. So again, go to bit.ly/QYCBC for Quick Start Your Coaching Biz Challenge. Go there, get a VIP seat. Just go ahead and level up. You didn't spend more than that on a lace front, right? Go ahead and get you a VIP seat and meet us in the challenge. You are not going to want to miss this. And if you're watching this and you're not a Black woman, but you know Black women, share this video with them. Tell them, I'm tired of listening to you talk about, I want to have my own business. I want to create generational wealth, but they're not doing nothing about it. You got people like that in your family. Share this with them. So tell them to stop talking about it and start being about it. Come meet us in the Quick Start Your Coaching Biz Challenge starting soon and watch your life change. It's been my pleasure to share with you on this Freedom Friday. Hope you have a phenomenal weekend and a great weekend, a great week coming up next week. But until then, get your seat in the challenge and we'll talk soon. Take care and be blessed.